So is there any overlap in the risk factors, basically, when people work in their workplace? I mean, it can be both triggered, like with burnout or depression.
Yeah, of course. Burnout, of course, is, too much stress and not enough rest over a long period of time. And so the same thing, it wouldn't be usually the only cause of depression, but if you're fighting off these inner beliefs, that inner child that was wounded, that thought process of I'm not good enough, or nobody likes me, or I'm worthless, if you're fighting that off and barely winning the battle in your mind, then not having enough rest is going to make you lose that battle probably. And chances are those people are going to be working really hard to prove that, hey, I am a good person, I am good enough, I am worthwhile. And so a lot of times those people end up manifesting more symptoms of depression because they're working so hard and unsustainably. So there is some overlap and some of the causes are the same, but definitely clinical depression is different.
Yeah. So whenever we have this kind of problem, it affects a lot with your daily life, fashion life, family life. So how do normally, how do burnout or depression affects your relationships, or like, family life?
Yeah. Someone that's exhausted, they often can do bare minimum functions that they absolutely have to do, show up to work, but they're not going the extra mile like they want to. They're not participating in their fun optional activities that they don't have to go to. And although those symptoms are shown by people with clinical depression as well, there's other things going on with people with clinical depression. Maybe an outburst of anger. That's a very common symptom of clinical depression, and that is really hard on relationships, both professionally and personally. Another symptom of depression is not the ability to not be able to concentrate. So not being able to concentrate at work, that takes a huge toll. Lastly, a common way nowadays to cope with depression and anxiety or not being able to concentrate is just doom scrolling on the phone. That's probably the most common way to cope with our depressing thoughts and kind of escape is by doom scrolling. And so many people, they do that as they're falling asleep at night, and it's a way to ward off those depressing thoughts.
So as we have understand that it will also, affect our, productivity, job performance as well. So you said burnout is a prolonged exhaustion. And so how does prolonged burnout affect, long-term mental health?
Yeah.
Because if someone is not recovering from the burnout, every week or every day in their life, so it's gonna affect long-term mental health.
Yeah.
So how's it?
Yeah. So long-term wise, not incorporating real rest will slowly lead to and manifest itself in possible clinical ways, just like not eating healthy. If you don't eat your vitamins, your body, for a week, for a month, maybe it'll be okay. But as time goes on, you're slowly going to be more susceptible to other diseases. Like, maybe over the course of a year, you might contract tuberculosis, or you have this nagging flu that doesn't go away. So the same is true with our mental health. If we're not resting, we're more susceptible to mental health diagnoses like depression.
Yeah. We talked about, the definition of burnout depression. We talked about symptoms. We talked about causes, how it affects our life. So let's talk about now, how can someone recover from burnout? So what do you think as a mental health professional?
For sure, yeah. So the main recovery is rest. And of course, you don't want to just rest for a day or even a weekend. You want to incorporate sustainable rest into your life. And like I often say, if you have a full plate, which usually people with burnout have a full plate, their schedule, their life is just full. If you have a full plate and you want to add something to it, like rest, then you're going to have to first take something off. So you need to look at what you have going on in your life, what you can control, and what you can take off, and choose what you're going to do, take that off, and in its place, put in rest. And, we all need accountability. It's easy to say, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do this or I am going to do that. But it's important to incorporate some accountability into that to help you rest and to help you not do those things that are preventing you from resting.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. What about depression? What are the common treatments basically for for depression
Yeah.
is available?
Yeah, well, for sure, everyone is different and everyone's depression is different. It's one of the MDD, major depressive disorder, is one of the biggest diagnoses in mental health. So, in the same way, everyone's treatment is different and their prognosis is different. But some of the best things you can do are for sure professional counseling, and the counselor can help you work through and uncover the root causes of depression, and at the same time helping you to minimize just the current symptoms in ways that it's negatively impacting your life with practical things. So I often think that depression, at the core, someone needs inner healing and needs to change the way they think and believe about themselves and the world around them. Once you can, and those are things that can't be changed quickly. Maybe cognitively you can change them quickly, or think you can change them quickly, but actually deep inner healing and habits, habitual way of thinking, that takes time.
Yeah. So, how important is early intervention for both? Prevention is the key, right?
Yeah.
For not having this kind of mental health issues. So, what do you think?
Yeah, well, for sure, one of my favorite sayings is an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure. So just like in any disease, if you have, a cold, for instance, if you catch it quickly, you take your vitamin C, you maybe eat some healthy food, you get some extra rest, then you're more likely to combat that cold than if you just keep going on and wait till a month later you have, a bad lung infection or something. So depression is the same way. So certainly breaking the stigma around the feelings that are associated with depression and finding a safe person to talk to about it, including professional counselor. I mean, just because you don't have clinical depression doesn't mean that it's not helpful to come in. What someone might come in for to get counseling for some of the symptoms of depression, and maybe 1 or 2 months later be doing much better. Someone that waited a couple years and is in full-blown, depression, can't get out of bed, can't hold a job, has, kind of lost and ruined a lot of relationships. They're going to possibly take years of counseling and pharmacological intervention before they find the improvement they need.
Yeah.
So for sure, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and just coming in early just to talk about the symptoms of depression will really pay off dividends in the long run.
Thank you so much, Bea, for coming here today for such an insightful conversation that we are having about burnout and depression. So we are very excited to have you today here. And the last thing I want to ask you, for our viewers or audience who are already suffering because of burnout and depression, do you have anything to say for them?
Yeah, well, for sure, I definitely am sorry that you're suffering from that, and I hope you can take that step, open up to someone who cares about you, and talk about what you're going through. Share about it. You're not alone. You don't have to, carry that load on your shoulders, and be open-minded to changing your lifestyle. It's not a quick fix, and it's something that's going to be a more lifestyle fix, a long-term solution.
ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে আজকে আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য। আমাদের সাথে জেকব ভাইয়া ছিল আজকে। আমরা আজকে বার্নআউট এবং ডিপ্রেশন নিয়ে অনেক আলোচনা করলাম। কি কি সাইন হতে পারে, কি ডিফারেন্স, কি কারণে আসলে বার্নআউট বা ডিপ্রেশন হয়, কীভাবে এফেক্ট ফেলে আমাদের ডেইলি লাইফে এবং আমাদের রিলেশনশিপ, ফ্যামিলি লাইফে, এবং কীভাবে আমরা আসলে এর থেকে মুক্তি পেতে পারি, এবং তার কিছু সাজেশন এবং অ্যাডভাইস জেকব ভাই আমাদেরকে আজকে দিয়েছে, এবং হোপফুলি এটা আপনাদের আসলে অনেক কাজে লাগবে। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ ভাইয়া আজকে আমাদের সাথে যুক্ত হওয়ার জন্য। আমাদের এই অডিয়েন্সটা অনেক বেশি উপকৃত হবে এই বিষয়টি থেকে, এবং আমি অডিয়েন্সের উদ্দেশ্যে বলতে চাই আপনাদের সবাইকে অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ যারা আসলে আমাদের পেজে, আমাদের সোশ্যাল মিডিয়া হ্যান্ডেলে তারা লাইক দেন, কমেন্ট করেন এবং আপনাদের অনুভূতিগুলো আমাদেরকে জানান। এবং প্লিজ যে কোনো বিষয়ে, আপনারা যদি কোনো বিষয়ে আমাদের এই এপিসোডে বা আমাদের পডকাস্টে আপনারা আলোচনা শুনতে চান, আমাদেরকে কমেন্টে জানাবেন, যেন আমরা পরবর্তীতে সেই বিষয়গুলো নিয়ে আসলে আলোচনা করতে পারি আমাদের যারা গেস্ট আসবে। থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য। আসসালামু আলাইকুম।